What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Who Gives a Dram? How's it going, everybody? And it is episode 10 of Who Gives a Dram. We are officially in the double digits here at Who Gives a Dram, and I feel thankful that we got here. So thank you to everybody who has supported from this point. As always, give me a follow on Instagram at Who Gives a Dram. If you don't already, and make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and everywhere else so you never miss an episode, and YouTube. Now that I do video podcasts, for better or for worse. But as always, I am your host, Connor Gilbert, and this is a weird episode because it's the first episode in a few weeks that there's no holiday coming up. January and February are kind of strange times of the year, I suppose. Right after the holidays, you're kind of still on the high of the holidays, and it's something that you gotta kind of get used to the fact that there's nothing going on anymore. But we always do. We just gotta wait till March when St. Patrick's Day gets here. I already know exactly what I'll be drinking for the St. Patrick's Day episode of Who Gives a Dram, so I'm excited for that. But I hope everyone had a happy New Year. I know this is technically the second episode since the New Year, but this is my first episode, and I had a good night, smoked a good cigar with a good glass of bourbon. It was the best way to end out this year. So I hope all y'all enjoyed your New Year's as well. And to start the show, I want to direct you to another podcast that I was just on. I just joined those old dudes over on Whiskey Philosophy podcast, Josh and Matt. I just joined their podcast this week, or I should say at this point it'll be last week. That's at the Whiskey Philosophy podcast, so go check out their episode. I think the episode has something to do with the title has something to do with Daisy Dukes and someone's butt cheeks hanging out. But we just had a solid hour and a half conversation, and it was funny as hell. I had a really good time with those guys. So make sure you go check them out. Whiskey Philosophy Podcast, Josh and Matt. Check out their stuff. They're great, and we're definitely gonna be getting together again here in the future. So look out for another collaboration there. Who knows? Maybe they'll come on Who Gives a Dram. We don't know. But shout out to them. I had a great time. It was funny as hell. I love the best conversations with people are when you can just shit on each other, and you know it's just all in good faith. It's all in love. So I'm glad that they can take a joke, because I can be a real sarcastic asshole, for lack of a better term sometimes. So I'm glad that they could deal with it. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good week. It's been a pretty boring week for me. Not much going on. And I just woke up from a nap. So this was the only time this week I could record the podcast. And you gotta do what you gotta do. So I was struggling to decide what whiskey I wanted to do. I was struggling to decide how I wanted this particular podcast to go, and I just said, as I do every episode, I just said, we'll make do. We'll just go on. We'll do it live, as Bill O'Reilly once famously said. We'll do it live. But I did pick out a good bottle for today, and the bottle that I picked out for today is a bottle that I bought at the. I still had some bottles. I didn't have probably like half the collection I have now. And I thought this was a big deal when I bought it. And it's a solid bourbon. You'll see here in a second. It's a solid bourbon. But at the time, I was really pumped about it. The name of this bourbon is a household name for bourbon and whiskey heads. It's just an all-time classic, and I was excited to get it because I've only seen the regular version, or I should say the classic version of it. Again, this was kind of like when I was just starting to really search for whiskey and know what I liked and know what I didn't like and stuff like that. What am I saying? I don't not like any whiskey. So I knew what I preferred at the time. So this was my first bottle that I went in not knowing what to get, and I bought this based on what I knew I liked, which is typically a little bit of a higher proof, a little bit of kick in the face. I like a bourbon that has a spicy nose to it. I've come to notice, and something that's going to you're gonna feel on this first sip. And I haven't had anything to drink today, so hopefully I feel this on the first sip. There's really nothing else that happened this week that I can think about, anything of importance. I'm recording this on the day that we had all these riots at DC for the Trump supporters. I don't understand. I don't get into politics here, but it doesn't make sense to me. Whether left or right, the radical left and the radical right are just a bunch of dumbasses. Both sides. It doesn't matter what side they're on. If you're radical on each side, you're just a lost cause, in my humble opinion. 95% of the people in this country are normal, level-headed people that have stronger opinions than others, but I would never in a million years go down to the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. and try to break in because obviously don't do that. These people have definitely never seen Olympus Has Fallen. You're gonna die if you do that, if you're serious about it. It just baffles me that the best idea that goes through these people's heads are, let's go break stuff. On either side, the radical left protests and the radical right protests. What's the point? Who knows? You could think about it all day, and you're just gonna get dumber every second. So I got my Knob Creek Work Hard Drink Whiskey cup right here for decoration here on the podcast. I've also got my Christmas tree up, as I'm sure you can see in the back if you're watching this on the video podcast. And like half of the lights went out on the bottom, but I still have it up because Christmas time went by too quickly for me this year, and I'm kind of upset about it. So I'm keeping my tree up all month, and then I'll put it away at the beginning of February. That's the worst month, is February. It doesn't get worse than February. The fact that it's only 28 days is bullshit. Well, it's actually nice because it's the worst month, but beginning of January is okay. The middle to end of January sucks. All of February sucks. March kind of sucks up until the middle when it's St. Patrick's Day. That's, to me, the telltale sign of winter coming to an end and spring beginning. And I'm one of those guys, I don't really like spring. I think spring is kind of bullshit because everyone gets allergies. It's still cold in the morning, and then it gets super hot in the during the day, at least here in New England. And it's just bullshit. There's a bunch of bugs. It's always wet. I don't know. March and April are suck. I don't like it. I like it better than January and February, but there's nothing good happening. It's still cold, but people think it's warm, so they start wearing shorts, and then they get all cold, and they get uncomfortable, then they get upset, and then they get mad, and then you have these radical protests that break out. I guarantee everybody who's in these radical protests are people who wear shorts in March. Stamp that. That's definitely a fact. It's got to be a fact. I'm sitting here by myself in my apartment talking about this stuff. I'm a moron. I I like the beginning of May because it's I got a few birthdays. My brother and my dad's birthdays are both in the beginning of May. And May's cool. May's cool because you got Cinco de Mayo. It's always fun. It's the only day of the year I drink a Corona. Um, and you have it does legitimately start to get warmer throughout most of the day. June is good. There's nothing wrong with June. It's nice. It's warm. Everyone's happy. July is good up until the 4th of July. After the 4th of July, July can fuck off. August is my least favorite month of the year. Too hot. Nothing to do. You're always sweating. And you're always stinking. So, definitely don't like August. And then from September 1st into the year, that's the best time of year. So, that's my power rankings for months. I'd probably go, for me, counterclockwise, December, November, October, September. I'd probably go, I like October because I really like Halloween season. So probably December, October, November, September. And then I'd probably say May, June, March, mostly because of St. Patrick's Day. And then you got, I still got 5 months left. And then it's going to be probably July. What am I missing? I'm missing one other month that I haven't done. And the people watching this are like, probably think I'm an idiot because they probably know what month it is. Whatever. January, February, and then whatever month I'm missing, and then it's August. August sucks. I hate August. But anyways, let's get into the whiskey. Let's stop talking about this because I'm sure everyone is already bored out of their minds. Today's whiskey is, again, a classic, something that I do enjoy. I've had it for a while now. I'm excited to drink it. Let me get my glass out here. A little bit of Old Forester 100. Classic Series 100. Old Forester right there. There we go. If you're watching on the video. If you're not, then just imagine what the Old Forester 100 banner looks like. So I got it right there. Put it right there for a little bit. Old Forester. A little bit about Old Forester. It's the oldest whiskey distilling company or bourbon distilling company in the country, which is a very cool milestone. It started in 149 or 150 years ago. Nearly 150 years ago, my great-great-grandfather, George Garvin Brown, was the first to seal his bourbon in a glass bottle, ensuring consistency and exceptional quality. He felt so strongly in his convictions that he signed his name to it. Today, I am proud to add my signatures as proof that our commitment to the Old Forester legacy lives on. So this was the first bottled bourbon, which is kind of Old Forester's claim to fame. Before, I'm assuming bourbon could be packaged in anything, which would lead to a lot of counterfeiting and people putting stuff that wasn't supposed to be in it. But Old Forester was the first one to put it in glass bottles, and that's what they always promote, that the first bottled bourbon. It says it right on the top of the bottle, the first bottled bourbon. This whiskey is distilled by us only, and we are responsible for its richness and fine quality. Its elegant flavor is solely due to original fineness developed with care. There is nothing better on the market. I disagree with that. However, for the amount I paid for this, I want to say it was like, probably $25 or $30. I'll have to search it on Google before I make my rating. But based on the bottle itself, it's a very, very sleek bottle. Just classic looking. I like how it's got the old Forester 1870 stitched into the glass at the top. I love the font. I love the colors. I love how it's square. I love the square label, and I love the 100 proof with the black and gold. It's a very, very cool looking bottle. But this is the worst part. And if you're watching on video, you'll see. And if you're not, I'll explain to you in a second. That's the worst part. It's a screw top. Now, normally, I don't drink screw top whiskeys. But Old Forester is such an established and classic brand that I wasn't not going to buy this. So I'm actually curious to know what the MSRP is for Old Forester. Old Forester MSRP. Let's see. $30, according to Breaking Bourbon, which is a great website if you haven't checked them out. $30 it says. That's a great price for 100 proof bourbon. That's a great price. The company that this is distilled by is Brown-Forman, which again, an old school distilling company, been around forever. I don't believe there's an age statement on this bottle. I don't know if they know how old it is. Doesn't have. Oh, it's also one of the whiskeys, the only whiskeys that was allowed to be sold during Prohibition. So that's actually really cool as well. I know Old Forester has a Prohibition whiskey, bourbon that they have. It's the one that has the blue writing on it. It says Prohibition on it. I believe it's blue. But that's a very cool, very, very cool fact as well. The fact that they were able to still produce this during Prohibition all that time ago is kind of a testament to the product that they produce, which from what I remember is very good. So let's get right into the actual review here. So I have the website up and I noticed that it says what I'm supposed to smell and taste and stuff on the website. So we're gonna pour some in. Here, there it is right there. Video podcast. It's got it's a very dark copper color that I get. Looks very good. I can already smell it. Put the cap back on. Very dark copper, almost like a bronze-ish color to it. Yeah, good color. There's nothing else to it, I guess. It's just a nice looking color. All right, so into the nose. It's really spicy, which I like. And there's actually a lot to it. Now I need to think. I really need to think on this. To me, it's I get a strong chemically smell from the top. Put this in frame. I get a pretty large chemical acetone type of thing. But it leads into like some sweetness, vanilla, as Matt famously says on Whiskey Philosophy. I always smell vanilla on bourbon, and that's very, very true. This has a sweetness to it, but it's predominantly spicy to me. It's predominantly spicy. Let's see what it says for aroma. I'm not gonna look at the taste. Strong, sweet coffee laced with chocolate, creamy butterscotch, and a hint of licorice. Yeah, don't get that. I guess without looking at the taste. A hint of licorice. I don't get strong sweet coffee. I don't know what that means. The last thing I get is coffee. Don't get coffee at all. Laced with chocolate, creamy butterscotch. I guess that's kind of the sweetness. Butterscotch, vanilla, that type of deal. I get fruit too. I don't know. I get like a spicy fruit. What's a spicy fruit? I don't know, but that's what I get. And a hint of licorice. I don't like licorice. I don't eat licorice. I don't smell licorice. I don't know what licorice smells like. If you like licorice, then you're a psycho. No offense. All right, so we got the smell. It smells great. I think it's got a good smell to it. Not the best smell, but I really get a lot of fruit. I'm surprised that it's not like part of it, but yeah, whatever. We're gonna drink it. So, cheers, Shante. It's my first sip of whiskey in 2 days. So that felt nice. I got like a lot of, again, it's like this. Yeah, I got a lot of spice to it again. I can taste the oak, I think. Uh, it does taste real good. So it's got a long, long finish. I can still feel it. I mean, for an 100 proof, it's not the strongest 100 proof, but it's up there. What to say? Ripe apple and other sweet fruit. Okay, so there's the fruit. Bakery spice and toasted oak. Oh, so I kind of nailed it. Did I say fruit? I meant to say fruit. It's very much a lot like the smell. It tastes like it smells. Just like dog food. Dog food tastes exactly like it smells. Delicious. I'm going to take another sip. Yep. Okay. I get that now. Sweet fruit. The spice is just from the proof, I believe. It's very fruity, actually. That's the predominant. The nose is spicy fruit, and the palate is fruit with a pretty solid finish. It's very good. I'm actually like it. What does it say finish? Sweet and light with hints of oak and apple that linger a bit. So yeah, it lingers a bit. Doesn't punch you in the mouth like 100 proof. I kind of nailed this one. I didn't get the nose at all, but the taste and finish I kind of got. So I'm actually kind of impressed with myself. So are there any other cool facts about Old Forester that I should? Old Forester Signature 100 Proof, San Francisco World Spirits Competition Gold Medal Award 2003, Double Gold Medal Award 2004 and 2012. Wow. Best Bourbon of Show Award in 2004. Is the San Francisco World Spirits Competition like the Super Bowl of whiskey stuff? Somebody reach out to me and answer that question for me. Let me know if the San Francisco World Spirits Competition is the Super Bowl of whiskey, like, tasting. Because you always see that come up, the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. It's either that or it's rated by some whiskey magazine, like kind of like cigars. So, hopefully soon. So I have an idea. I have a second room in my apartment that I would love to turn into my podcast / whiskey room here in the future. And it's got a window in there, so I could technically smoke cigars. I'd love to smoke cigars on the podcast as well because I love cigars. So I want to integrate cigars into the show however I can, and I want to make that whiskey room. So if you saw my Instagram post this past week, I posted a Transformation Tuesday. I literally have all my whiskey sitting on an old dresser that was given to me. So I got to get some shelves. I got to get a legit bar. A lot of stuff to do. A lot of money to spend. You can't just spend money on the whiskey. You got to spend money on something to put the whiskey on. So rating Old Forester. It's solid 100 proof for $30. That plays a lot into the price. Solid looking bottle. I love the bottle. I love the color of the whiskey compared to the label. It's really cool, and it's actually like really, really sharp looking. For an 100 proof, I've had stronger. I've had better. But I've had a lot worse too. Old Forester 100 is a typical everyday bourbon that's gonna get the job done. I'd probably use it in like a Manhattan or a old fashioned or something because it does have some bite to it. It's higher proof. I'm gonna go 8.2 Old Forester 100 proof. Again, really all whiskey I'll drink. If you're like at a 7 and above, you're doing good. In my scale, obviously nines are like you need this bottle no matter the price. 8 is if you find the bottle, buy it unless it's charged for a ridiculous price. 7s are, I'd recommend getting the bottle. But it's something that you could probably live without unless you never had it. Then buy it. Anything below a 7, it's like, well, it's whiskey, so you can drink it. But I don't think I've given anything else less than a 7. I think Sazerac Rye is the lowest I've given, but I enjoy Sazerac Rye. I mean, I've had a few drams of it since my podcast with my brother, which we'll be doing again soon. So, but we're gonna wrap it up. I'm already a few minutes over what I wanted to go, and I gotta go do some more things before I go to bed here. So, again, if you're not already, follow me on Instagram at WhoGivesADram. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube. It really does make a difference. I mean, we've been steadily growing here for episode per episode now, and I'm very thankful for it. But I want to continue to grow. So tell your friends about Who Gives a Dram. Let's keep this thing going. Let's keep it growing, and I'm going to continue to produce content for y'all. So something that I love to do. If you guys ever have any questions for me, feel free to reach out on Instagram or through my email, whogivesadram@gmail.com. If you guys have anything you want to ask me, or if you want any comments or anything, shoot me an email. I want to kind of put some emails into the show here sometime soon, and do maybe like a little episode of not fan questions, but questions from our listeners and stuff like that. So don't be shy. Reach out to me, DMs on Instagram or email. And that'd be a fun little concept. Answer some questions while drinking whiskey. I like that a lot. As always, I'm gonna let my brother Nick Bossy play me out. Pretty New Diamond. Check out Nick's new song, "What Happened to Country." It's a great song, and please check it out on YouTube. Support my friend there. He's such a talented guy. "What Happened to Country." You can stream it now on Apple Music and on Spotify and anywhere else you can stream music on. Also on YouTube, just type in Nick Bossy. That's at Nick Bossy Music on Instagram. Shout out to Nick. I'm gonna finish this whiskey and head out of here. So again, you guys, thank you so much. Make sure you're following on Instagram. Make sure you're subscribing to Who Gives a Dram. I will see you guys next week. And again, you guys, thank you so much for the support. I can't wait to see what 2021 holds. So thank you guys. Take care. Have a good night.
Up in New England, that girl sure loved me. We got together and brought things to life. So I did buy her a pretty new diamond, and asked that sweet woman if she'd be my wife. Kind of feeling love songs are made of. With that sweet woman, spend the rest of my life. Before she came along, I was hurting, but at the end of my tunnel, I saw no light. Broke my heart and I can't keep going. Guess I'll just sit here and get drunk tonight. Vows they meant nothing, and she ran to a stranger, and with Johnny Walker I'm passing my time. I asked the Lord, what should I do? But I'm too drunk to hear him tonight. So sit with my bottle while Hank Sr.'s singing, I'm so lonesome I could cry. She gave me back that pretty new diamond and broke my heart a second time. But I got the last laugh when I pawned off her ring, 'cause I bought me a dime bag and a case of Coors Light. I asked the Lord, oh, what should I do? But I'm too drunk to hear him tonight. So sit with my bottle while Hank Sr.'s singing. I'm so lonesome I could cry. So sit with my bottle while Hank Sr.'s singing. I'm so lonesome I could cry.